Before we get any further, this video contains spoilers for The Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 12. If you haven't seen it yet, we highly recommend you head on over to Disney Plus and watch it before continuing with the video. If you're all caught up or just don't care, let's dive right in. We're back this week with another amazing episode for this season, bringing the total up to quite a few. We didn't think anything could top the Zillo Beast last week, but today's episode really proved us wrong. May we introduce our new favorite Star Wars creature and the topic of today's video, the Ice Vulture. Put your pitchforks down, we're only joking. After the heart-wrenching episode we were treated to this week, there's no way we could focus on anything other than Crosshair, Mayday, and the beautiful, tragic bromance they developed. For having been in only 2 episodes this season, Crosshair has had more character development than many protagonists, and we're here for it. But character development doesn't just happen by itself. It's incentivized, pushed by our surroundings, the people we interact with, the events happening in our life. And nothing could have pushed Crosshair more than Mayday. In today's video, we'll be analyzing how Mayday changed Crosshair's life forever, and subsequently the course of the entire show. The episode starts strong, with Crosshair meeting his new commander, Lieutenant Nolan. The two are tasked with backing up a garrison on some distant iceball planet where the troops have been guarding a cargo depot. The garrison itself seems large enough when Crosshair and Nolan arrive, but to everyone's surprise, there are only 3 clones left: Commander Mayday and his 2 men, Hex and Veach. Now, from the moment he met Nolan, Crosshair had been on edge. The lieutenant is clearly one of those people that thinks clones are expendable items with no human value, and Crosshair doesn't appreciate that. Then you have Mayday. Mayday is, to put it simply, the ideal clone. He's brave, intelligent, compassionate, and above all else, competent. Seeing the way he handles himself with confidence reminds us of seeing Rex leading his men back during the Clone Wars, and to some extent, we think Crosshair has been craving that. The clones back at base had rejected him, and now they were gone, retired away, leaving him essentially alone in an army full of clone haters. With that in mind, we're pretty sure Crosshair was happy to see Mayday. From the get-go, they get along beautifully. It's been a long while since we saw the humorous side of Crosshair. Even during Season 1, he'd been more dour, unhappy with his squad mates over the decisions they were making. In Season 2, Episode 3, he had very little room to joke around in. But with Mayday, he falls into a comfortable camaraderie, joking dryly, albeit, but still joking. Despite Crosshair clearly being different to regular clones, Mayday still recognizes him as a fellow clone brother and treats him like any one of his men. That sense of brotherhood set the foundation, but Mayday did a lot more for Crosshair than just treating him well. Right away, Mayday serves as a contrast to Nolan's leadership. Where Mayday shows concern for his men, expresses practical concerns, and shows a tactical understanding of their situation, Nolan stumbles in with cutting remarks and belittling comments. Worse still, he demonstrates his complete disdain for clones, openly reprimanding Mayday for the Empire's lack of support. "We work on the Empire's schedule, not yours," he says to the man who'd been waiting for reinforcements for over a month and supplies for over a year. "Go out and retrieve the cargo with just the 2 of you, while I'll stay warm and safe in the base," he says to his subordinates. And this isn't just a Nolan problem, but a paid officer problem. We'll address this issue more in depth in a future video, but traditionally, there were 2 types of officers in the Imperial Army: those promoted through the ranks and those who've paid to become officers. The latter are often appointed thanks to their connections or money or family, and they make for the worst officers a soldier could have. The nobleborns, as some fantasy authors call them, have no experience and even less common sense, but they get enough of an ego boost that they'll keep forcing actual veterans to call them commander. That's Nolan in a nutshell. Compared to him, Mayday is a war-hardened veteran who knows what needs to be done. And yet, Mayday responds mostly respectfully and obeys Nolan's commands without argument. When he and Crosshair are sent out together to retrieve the stolen cargo, they follow the trail of the raider Crosshair had sniped, only to find him dead, wearing clone armor he must have looted off the body. When Mayday comments that both the stolen armor and the body left behind upset him, Crosshair replies that the raiders didn't want to carry dead weight with them. This is something Mayday disagrees with. A fallen brother is not dead weight. Not a few minutes later, Crosshair stands on a pressure mine. Although Mayday throws his comment about dead weight back in his face, he still takes the risk of hammering the pressure mine down into the ice so Crosshair can take his foot off it. He plays it safe, but it's still a risk he didn't have to take. He saves Crosshair's life. The two continue on to take out the entire Raider outpost, fighting effortlessly side by side. A Raider tried to take off with the cargo, but Crosshair shot him down. It was a good thing, however, since they ended up blowing up the outpost. Yet, when they walk over to the fallen cargo crates to retrieve them, they find something that makes even Mayday rage. The crates were full of stormtrooper armor. Understandably, this infuriates Mayday. He and his men had been undersupplied for over a year, wearing poor gear, all while they were sitting on a stockpile they could have used. A stockpile the Empire was saving for their shiny new military. He had made request after request for new sensors, new supplies, reinforcements, and everything had been ignored until now, when the Empire was finally authorized to bring in their new troopers. Combined with Nolan's incompetence, it was too much to take in. And he expresses it better than we ever could. After all the clones have done, all we've sacrificed, we're good soldiers. We followed orders. And for what? That right there is the best summary we could have ever asked for regarding the clones' treatment at the hands of the Empire. Everything we've seen this season, from the forced retirement to the blatant mistreatment, everything put together was enough to break even the most loyal, obedient clones like Mayday. Clones who had done their best to stay loyal, but had broken under the blatant abuse they'd suffered. And you can tell Crosshair feels. Last season, he might have shot Mayday for the traitorous talk, but now he's pausing because he knows for a fact that the clone in front of him did everything right and didn't deserve the treatment he got. The cognitive dissonance is real, but it's about to get realer. Right after this heavy moment, an avalanche comes down on both of them. Crosshair manages to avoid most of the damage, thanks to Mayday, but Mayday wasn't so lucky. You might have expected Crosshair to abandon him. He was the one complaining about dead weight, but Crosshair stays. Crosshair puts his helmet on for him, and then he slings his arm over his shoulders and carries him back to base. Crosshair cares. Deep down, Crosshair needs him to survive. But when they get back to base, witnessing the army of stormtroopers that had come in as Nolan's support, which they could have really used, Nolan refuses to provide a grievously injured Mayday with medical attention because, as Nolan puts it, he's an expendable tool that broke and was now useless, just like Crosshair will be. Mayday dies senselessly, and that was Crosshair's breaking point. Faced with everything he'd been through in the last day, Crosshair snaps and shoots Nolan dead within the line of sight of the lieutenant's other soldiers. Mayday had been a connection Crosshair needed. Someone Crosshair had related to and understood. When Nolan just threw him away, it was the final blow needed to shatter his illusion of the Empire. In that instant, Crosshair was able not only to recognize that Nolan was a traitor to everything he had stood for, but that it wasn't just Nolan. It was the Empire behind him. An Empire he had seen brutalize citizens, then turn on his clone brothers. They'd abandoned Mayday and his men long before the recruitment bill had passed, sacrificing their lives to guard a horde of superior gear for their replacements. Nolan and every Nolan in the Empire didn't care about him. They didn't care about loyalty like his old commanders had. They didn't care about skill or service or sacrifice. To the Empire, Crosshair was nothing more than a wooden Minecraft tool, good for the basics until it broke or got used as fuel for his replacements. And Crosshair had enough of it. Killing Nolan was the ultimate FU he could give in the moment. It may have been an impulsive decision, but it wasn't random. It was the sum of everything Crosshair had been through since parting with Clone Force 99, everything he and Mayday had been through together. Mayday's senseless death was the last straw, the catalyst for Crosshair to finally rebel, and we're thrilled to see it. Looking forward, we aren't sure if Crosshair will manage to escape somehow and rendezvous with the Bad Batch, or whether they'll have to break in to rescue him. Whatever the future holds, we're incredibly excited for it. But what do you think? Do you think you'll want to rejoin the squad, or will Dr. Hemlock from the previous episode mind control him somehow and send him after Omega? Let us know your predictions in the comments section below, and as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.